morning, Altheans. Come on in, take a seat. Welcome one, welcome all. Leave a seat open for the ancestors today. All right, let's all check our phones. Make sure those phones are off and silent. We're listening for a higher calling today. Listening for the whispers of the ancestors. Make sure the phones are off and silent. As a reminder, we only allow water in the sanctuary. No coffee, no food, no open containers, please. All right, I'm going to give a few announcemements, and then I will hand it over to Reverend Christina for today's ceremonies. All right, today, and as in every Sunday, we have a prayer partner dedicated to helping you or helping each of us use affirmative prayer to create something in our life that we feel that we need in this moment. Today's prayer partner is the one, the only, the incomparable, Kendara Laurel. All right, you can find her in Darwin's Den today. Woo. You can find her in Darwin's Den after service. There's also some papers in the pocket in front of you. You can use that to file a prayer request or submit a prayer request. The ushers, when they come around, you can submit it to them. And I believe there's a little box in the back as well by the dip jar that you can submit those to. Right? Those go out to all the prayer partners of the Althea community, and people pray on them all week long. It is powerful, powerful work. If you have started coming recently, or if you're new today and you're wanting to become a member, please see Ricky Stanton, our pianist. Please see Reverend Christina or Bob Bearcall, our board president, and they will help you fill out our application for membership. Today, after service at 12:30, we have a gong bath right here in this space. It's going to be awesome. Tickets can still be purchased for $25. It will be an awesome opportunity to harmonize your body, the mind, the spirit, all of it in one awesome gong session, gong bath. Remember that when you support events like that, you're not only supporting the people that are here putting on the event, but you're also supporting Althea's missions and programs. All right, next Friday, November 1st at 6 p.m., we're also hosting a special meditation here, a meditation for the nation. It's an evening of unity and transcending political beliefs, holding the high watch in a grounding evening of collective love through meditation and sound energy. The event is free with a suggested donation of $10. I'll be there, so come join us. We'll meditate our way to peace. We are also growing our YouTube channel. So if you haven't, make sure to subscribe and like. The goal is to get to 1,000 so we can stream our services directly on YouTube. So please, please do that. And double check it. If you think you've done it, double check, because I thought I had done it and I was not right. All right, so another special event coming up on Sunday, December 22nd at 2:30 p.m. A group of us are going to the Colorado Symphony for Too Hot to Handle. Haha. Okay, it's a night of jazz, gospel, and RB-infused concert. If you are interested, let's see, hold on. Who should I go to? Tickets are on sale for our group outing, so I would check the website for that one. Everything I'm saying to you is also on our program, on the back of our program. So if you're, and talk to Tim. There you go. Tim is waving his hand. Talk to Tim if you're interested in Too Hot to Handle. All right, and today also, so if you're not going to the gong bath, you could also join us for a conscious conversation. This is an opportunity after service to dive deeper into today's into a thought-provoking topic today at 12:45. It runs until 12:45 in the library. Everyone is welcome, as always. All right. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll turn it over to Christina.
So lovely to see you all during this time. Yes, I love you, Danny. Welcome to Althea. If you're new here, we are a spiritual center that was created over 100 years ago, but the teachings are over 2,000 years old. Centered in oneness, celebrating the awakening, the oneness of all. Think of it as something as unity consciousness. We celebrate all faiths, all religions, all races, Native American, white, black, because we celebrate the oneness of God. And here, you may use God or spiritual consciousness or higher consciousness, for it doesn't matter. And we're very aware of all the struggles that are going on the planet. We do not spiritually bypass here. We also are very aware this is a physical planet, but we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, and we use prayer and meditation to tap into that oneness of all. Welcome to Althea, and welcome to those on Facebook and later watching us on YouTube. Anyone that is new here today, please raise your hand. Welcome, welcome. And I did bring Halloween candy, just so you know. Yeah. And we also, Snickers, there are Snickers. There's many Snickers balls in a glass jar. Our little cafeteria, our dining hall is right around the corner. And we have some coffee and tea and other little treats. Because after all, we are all kids. We deserve treats as well. Now, we're going to have a centering prayer with Carrie.
Hello, everyone. I'm not going to say good morning this morning because I have found out that there are a group of young people in the United States that decided they didn't want to be in mourning. So I wish you a good day, or a good day, as the Australians say. Anyway, I am going to invite you all to stand up and join me in the statement of being.
Carrie?
Yes. Can you hear
It's
me?
my boo-boo. Maybe I had too much Halloween candy. We have Danny doing the opening prayer.
Okay.
He's going to grant us, and then we'll go into that. Yeah, and then we'll do it. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Danny.
I guess Danny's up now.
Sorry. Danny's going to ground us in a prayer. You're going to do the prayer. The 4 directions. We're going to have you do that.
Well, we have, honoring, of course, our ancestors and Tamil Muertos. So we look to the 4 directions. And I've talked a little bit, like we're always very similar with the horizontal sense of the world because of the think of the flat. But we're on a ball. And so as we face to each of the directions, the east, the south, and the west, and then to the north, so we'll start this way. We recognize that in the beginning is the springtime, the start of the day, and then the summer, sort of also when the sun is up in the sky. And then in the west, when the sun is setting, is the fall as the leaves move away. And then in the north is when the sun is below in the underworld. And so we face to the east, we say, Stampa, Jimuwalanita, Stapate Kupi, thank you for that sunrise, thank you for that beautiful morning light, give us a beautiful day. Ometeo is our, Ome is 2, that duality that becomes 1. So we say Ometeo.
Omenteko.
As we turn to the south, we recognize the Wislampa, the Chacahuepa, the Chipitla. It is fullness of life to the summer, to the height of the sun and the sky, to the youth, to the children, to all of the aspirations that for our children contemplate. We say, Ometeo. And then to moving to the west, where the sun is beginning to set, the direction we call Siwatlampa, the direction of the feminine energy, the releasing and the letting go, where we reflect in the day and we release all of the burdens of our lives and all of the negativity that have sort of weighed us down. We let those go. Watch the sunset. We say, Ometeo.
Mateo.
And to the north, to the Miklampa, to the direction of our ancestors, where the sun is beneath us, where our ancestors live into the earth, as they return
Okay, we are now ready for the statement of being. Okay. God is all, both invisible and visible. One mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. We are individualized expressions of God and are ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Now, if you join me with the face of God, Ricky. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. We are a family. We are the face of God. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You all sound wonderful. Today, we are welcoming back Verena Fuentes, this young lady I met last year through Louise. Thank you, Louise. She is an amazing singer, and actually, if you go to YouTube, she's on a video called We Are the Women. It is, yes, give it up for her. Verena's from Mexico City, now calling Denver home, is, what'd you say, Danny? Musically beautiful, fuses contemporary pop, R&B, neo-soul, all enriched by her Latin heritage. Her sound is powerful and emotive, drawing listeners with deeply personal and meaningful lyrics. Through her music, she gives voice to her own experiences, those of many others, making her art both deeply relatable and profound. And Verena, you have an album out, correct?
Yes, but I have several songs out. I'm slowly releasing an album, yes.
Okay, are you on Spotify?
On Spotify.
She's
All
on
streaming
Spotify.
platforms. All platforms.
All
everywhere.
platforms. Beautiful souls, welcome back, Verena Fuentes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love being a part of Dia de Muertos. Any Dia de Muertos thing that I can be a part of is so, it means a lot to me because this is what makes me miss what I once called home the most. And in thinking about that, there's the song La Viquina that is a song that really means a lot to me because the first time that I heard it after moving out of Mexico, it really made me feel back there. So here is La Viquina. Solitaria camina en la viquina, la gente se pone a murmurar. Dicen que tiene una pena, dicen que tiene una pena que la hace llorar. Altanera, preciosa y orgullosa, no permite que la quieran consolar. Dicen que alguien ya vino y se fue. Dicen que pasa las noches llorando por él. La viquina tiene pena y dolor. La viquina no conoce el amor. Altanera, preciosa y orgullosa, no permite que la quieran consolar. Dicen que alguien ya vino y se fue. Dicen que pasa las noches llorando por él. La viquina tiene pena de dar. La viquina no conoce el amor. Altanera, preciosa y orgullosa, no permite que la quieran consolar. Dicen que alguien ya vino y se fue. Dicen que pasa las noches llorando por él. Dicen que pasa las noches llorando por él. Dicen que pasan las noches llorando por él. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. Our first reading is from Julie Peters, yoga, meditation teacher, writer, and registered counseling therapist. And she says, "Death season might sound scary, but it's a beautiful and important time. In this darkness, we are invited to slow down, to rest, to reflect, and to remember. It's time to integrate the lessons of the last year and contemplate new births that we are hoping for in the eventual spring." She goes on to say, "It's a time to be close to our living loved ones and remember our dead. It's a time when the cool moon shines brightly over our lives, while the sun rests before returning in full force in the spring." And our second reading is from Hinduism. Diwali is the festival of lights in Hinduism. Diwali festival is going to be celebrated on October 31st and November 1st, 2024. It symbolizes the spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. May you all attain full inner illumination. May the supreme light of lights enlighten your understanding. May you all attain the inexhaustible spiritual wealth of the self. May you all prosper gloriously on the material as well as spiritual planes.
Thank you, Carly. So our gathering this Sunday is quite different because of all the beautiful sacred spiritual holidays we have. And now we have Danny. I adore Danny's stage. You've been here how many times?
I've been here 10 years.
10 years. Oh, that's wonderful. He is, yeah, for 10 years. Danny's also a member of the, you could say the member, because I'm going to, cool. He needs a microphone. No, you can walk around. It's up to you. That's a dance troupe who has performed and celebrated for many years at Althea Center Sanctuary. Danny's troupe has been a troupe member for over 20 years, and he directs many of his educational and public exhibitions. He has worked for Sisters of Color United for Education for many years and continues to serve the community on the Sheridan Board of Education. Welcome this beautiful soul, Danny.
So thank you again. It's my pleasure to be back here. As I mentioned, 2014 was the year that Sisters of Color United for Education moved into the office up in the corner. It's been almost 2 years that I have stopped working there, so that relationship itself has now died, you know. and not in a way to that is, there was a lot of pain. There was a lot of loss in there. 15 years I had been with them, so it certainly wasn't a very easy thing to go through. And of course, I still hope. We still have hopes to, and we still talk to each other to see and communicate further. But I have been dancing in Aztec dancing for 30 years. I started, my very first ceremony was a Day of the Dead ceremony in '94, and that was at 38th and 38th and Shoshone. There's a Troy Chavez Foundation. There's a park there. They're actually doing the November 1st. There will be a gathering, and the people will walk the Aztec dancers down to the La Raza Park on Navajo, and they'll be doing a velacion. The group is Tlaloc that does that one. My Aztec dance group, which is La Pochli, will be at a bunch of other events. We were at 4 different locations yesterday. And so we have some new people, so I wanted to do like a brief, some of the older Congress members here, congregation members have heard me talk about. In the Day of the Dead is not really about death in the sense that we think of the end of life, because the word Mekisli, that represents the skull, has another understanding about it, because all of the days of the Aztec calendar are the head of the dog, the head of the deer, the head of the rabbit, the head of the eagle, the head of the jaguar. So there's a teaching that goes with everyone. And the head is what represents, anatomically, it represents our perception. We have our sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. All your 5 senses are in your head. So all of the teachings of the days of the calendar days are about the perception, the perception of how the crocodiles the first day, and they come out of the water. And then you have the perception of the jaguar, who is like a hunter that hides behind and he pounces out when he sees his prey. But the perception of the eagle is very different, where they flies up in the sky. The perception of the human, of course, has its own teaching. And we all on the surface have a face, but when we peel back that surface area and go deeper, the skull represents that deeper perception of the human experience. And so that's where we have that word Mekisli. And I've talked a little bit about in the past how our ancestors actually even conceived perhaps of not so much as a soul inhabiting a body, but 4 different energies. That this representation was an old picture from pre-Hispanic times, where they shows the form in the center without the skin, because we're talking about beneath the surface. The tonali, which is a serpent coming out of his head, is the mind, the mind energy, which they believe comes from the fire. Out of the mouth, kind of in the chest area, is that teyolia, you see it? And he has a hand out, because he's the breath of life and the words that we speak that come from our heart. And that teyolia is then a different energy. The heart is connected to our earth energy, because that heartbeat, and it's our physical, it's the physical anatomy, the physical pump that's moving our blood. Ichiotl at the bottom comes from our emotional energy, that comes from down in our gut brain, you might say, where we have those feelings. And then on the backbone, there's this other energy that comes up, where he also has a hand, because it there's a word I used before, nagual, which is a Mayan word, but in Aztec they actually call Xicoat, is the fire snake. And coincidentally, the Kundalini is also translated into the fire serpent, and it's like that energy that rises from the spinal cord all the way up into our head. So in the teachings of the Day of the Dead and the understanding of the ceremony, there is very much documented by the priests that I've talked about. There's 4 places where they would teach us that it doesn't matter how you live your life, it matters how you die. That's where you go. And so if you're a child, you go to the chichiquawi, which is a tree with boobies, and the milk, and the mother's milk is dripping down here in this beautiful paradise. If you die of a violent death, or you're drowned, or some lightning strikes you, or somebody kills, you go to Tlalocan, which is the watery paradise. If you if a woman dies in childbirth, or a warrior that dies in battle, he goes to Tatamoanchan, of the celestial place of being, where the sun set, and And this is, all of them are a beautiful paradise. And then the fourth place was called Mictlan, which was the place for the elders who lived a full life. And they would travel through these 9 levels, these 9 rivers, you might even call them, of Mictlan. And so they documented it well, because as they were explaining to the Catholic priests, and they wanted to understand our concepts. The reality is that we, as indigenous people, we understood that mystery, and nobody really knows what happens. So these 9 levels are actually also more of a teaching about the Toltecayo, the understanding of becoming a Tolteca. If people that are familiar with Carlos Castañeda's work, he used the word Tolteca. Tolteca is not a tribe of people. It is a level of consciousness of a higher understanding. So when we're into that higher consciousness, we are Toltecas. And so there are 9 levels that the Tolteca passes. The first one, and of course this teaching is something I am still just coming into. I'm still starting to learn. So I'm only really going to share is that first one. If you see, it says Itzcuintlan. It's the place that habits the perro, the dog, the Xolotzcuintli. And the Xolo, there's a picture of the Aztec Xolo, which is the hairless dogs. They still have them today. They're very, very beautiful Xolotzcuintlis. The dog, in a way, and when I first was learning about this, they would say that it was a way to help people understand that the animal of the dog, you have to treat a dog well. People that abuse dogs, they would say to them, you're going to be in trouble, because when you die, that dog's supposed to carry and guide you through the underworld, you know? And so you better be nice to that dog, because you're always hitting that dog, you know? But what was beautiful, and then I also, is beautiful in this picture that Anubis was the sort of the gatekeeper of the underworld, you know? And there's that connection where even he has that, the dog of Anubis very much resembles the Xolotzcuintli. And the dog, when you really think about, you know, what are the qualities of a dog? What is it that the dog reflects to us? And that is loyalty, of course. You know, people that own dogs, you know that you feed that dog is loyal to you. No matter what you do, that dog is going to protect you, it's going to stick by you, it's going to love you, unconditional. And sometimes in psychology, you know, we talk about the relationship with a dog, with an animal, can sometimes be even it's less of a struggle than with our own partner, because the dog doesn't try to make you be a better person. You don't try to make your dog be a better dog. You accept the dog for who the dog accepts you, and you love each other unconditionally there. You know? But so that dog is not only that loyalty, that teaching, but it is that constant companion. You know, there's a story of Quetzalcoatl where he went down to the underworld to rescue the bones of the people from the last world. And as he was in there, the lords of the Mictlantecule, Mictlancihuatl, they said, well, you can only leave if you can blow the shell, and the shell didn't have the tip cut. So he had to he had to put some bees in there, and then he made them think that because the bees were making so they were like, okay, well, you could take the bones out, but then they told their guys, don't let him escape. And they tried to before he could get out of the underworld, they were going to kill him. But in the story, his Xolo, his companion, his other self, which going back to that other picture might be like that Kundalini self, it sacrificed itself. The Xolo sacrificed so that Quetzalcoatl could escape. Well, the morning star is known as Quetzalcoatl. The evening star is called Xolo. It's that companion. But we know that the morning star and the evening star are actually the same planet, Venus. It's the same thing. It's two ideas, but one thing. Just like we have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, 2 legs, you know, even got 2 butt cheeks. So everybody has a duality, but becomes one. And so all of us have a Xolo. All of us have a companion that is that Xolotzcuintli, that dog, that is forever with us. And what is that? That is our own conscious, our own little voice in our mind, the voice that we talk to. That is our Xolo. That is our companion forever in our lives from the time we're little. And how do we treat that Xolo? How do we treat ourselves? How many times do we inside of our minds tell us we're not good enough? Or tell ourselves that we're not doing the right thing, and we're beating up on ourselves, and we're abusing that dog and that sholot. And that is the beginning of that teaching, of that first river, that initiation into that Toltecayo, is to learn, to understand that you are a dual thing brought into that oneness, and that those two sides of you, that personality, the way you are with others, but that internal self, the way you are with yourself. And you have to love them. You have to take care of that inner child, that self within you. You have to be a good person, because if you don't, it's not going to guide you. It's not going to carry you across to those further teachings, to become that Tolteca, to pass through these other rivers. It's very, very deep. I hope you feel that understanding of what that teaching is, and that we all start to come to that love and acceptance within ourselves. It's not about what other people think about us. It's about what we think about ourselves and how we feel. And thank you very much for your time. I think.
Let's give Danny another round. That was amazing. I always learn something new. And you see how much we have more in common, as we've been talking about in October, oneness. Then we are different. And I never knew that this holiday, oh, you just lost sound. Got it? Oh, okay. Thank you. I never knew of this holiday because I grew up in New Orleans. And at the time that I grew up in New Orleans, we did not have a huge Latin culture other than Cuban. But we didn't, it wasn't practiced that much. But I do want to honor the people that helped create this altar. Daryl, I don't know where Daryl is, but Daryl and Jason and Luis and Chris, like the flowers, let's give them a round of applause. So this is a beautiful altar. There he is. Yep. Thank you. So falling into spiritual meanings, and I'm going to go short too because we don't want to turn this into an hour and a half Sunday gathering. But I always had an interesting relationship with Halloween. Because in New Orleans, which has been voted the second most haunted city in the United States, I grew up in a haunted house. I really did. The house was over 200 years old before America was America. And it sat on an old plantation that wasn't there. So I grew up in a shotgun house. So you could see the lines when you went to the other neighbor's house where they took a bulldozer and went through this mansion and made everything into little houses. You can imagine what was on this land. Then I had a mother who was Catholic and a psychic. And into these teachings, and my dad who grew up Methodist but turned into Rosicrucianism and studying everything about Egyptology. So it's a very spiritual time. October is very powerful. The veil is thin. The Greeks spoke about it. The natives spoke about it. That's why we celebrate our ancestors. The veil is thin for communication, but it's also thin and great for us to go deeper. Now, I personally didn't like Halloween because hearing and seeing things as a little girl, and my mom was scary as well. You would see us running through the house. I still to this day cannot sleep in total darkness. My grandmother, who I didn't get to meet, they told me she moved 10 times in the early 1900s. So my mom and my grandpa said, "It's not the houses, Viola, it's you." She saw dead people. Did I get that gift? Yes. I cannot sleep in the dark because they choose to visit them. But now I use it as information when I get a beautiful visitation, and it reminds me we are all one, which led me to these teachings of affirmative prayer and meditation, because I don't get scared as much anymore because we're all connected. We're all connected. We are all one. So during this great time on the planet, even though it may look challenging, it would be great to use this in a good way. This is Sid, my husband and I's kitty. I don't like superstitions. I don't. The whole thing about a black cat, the number 13 being bad luck, none of that is true. That was given by fear. In the Welsh tradition, black cats were considered good luck, money. And during the 12th century, people wanted black cats for money and abundance. It was the total opposite. In Egyptian times, black cats were known to eat dark energy, the powerful of all kitties. He's pretty powerful. He meditates with me sometimes. He knows when my husband and I are sick. I have literally felt him take pain from me. He's quite the jewel. So what we think is bad luck, it is not. And some of that was formed by man-made religions to keep us afraid, including the breaking of a mirror by accident is not considered 7 years of bad luck. It's believed that it's supposed to be good luck that you release the old. So Samhain was the original name before Western religion turned into Halloween. And this is a cultic tradition that's beyond the Bible. And the prayer goes, I call upon the past and celebrate those that are in the veil between worlds. And I honor those to come before us. That's the season we're in. So all these holidays begin at sunrise, October 31st, and they end November 2nd. Another holiday, All Saints' Day. I grew up Catholic, and I had to go to church, to the St. Francis Assisi Church, and celebrate the saints. So there's a lot of energy and a lot of time of celebration. There's a ton of traditions in Africa, Norway, during this time. So it's not all about candy. It's not all about a lot of parties. That's something I started to do a long time ago during this time of celebrating our ancestors. So I'll give this for you, November 1st, November 2nd, if you choose. Put out a plate to honor your ancestors. Have dinner at a table. Light a candle. Maybe in your meditation, ask for any messages. Think of someone you love that has passed on. It may even be a friend. I lost a best friend this year. And every now and then she comes in my dreams. Let's honor that. And ask, since they're in the oneness and we're all one, what's to be revealed? What's to be healed during this season? Let's not go into politics and fear and wars and rumors of wars. Let's tap into that veil of oneness and be with that higher consciousness. Tapping into that kundalini energy. Tapping into the higher source and forces. Because that's the truth of who we are. We are the future ancestors of the descendants. Think about that. Our energy truly matters. What we live and leave on this planet. How we create a new world. We're entering a new world. I do believe we're supported. Some faiths call on archangels. In Hinduism, Diwali. In 2018, I met 3 beautiful women who are some of my closest friends now. They're from India. They were part of the program that they had to leave India in the 80s. I don't know if many of you all knew about that, where temples burned. They have one of the largest Hindu temples in America. It's in Texas. Her family owns it. And they taught me about Diwali. It's the Festival of Lights. It starts October 31st and ends the night of November 2nd. And what they do is celebrate. They wear red, orange, they light candles, everyone's off from work. They do deep meditations. My friends, they told me they do 4-hour meditations or walking meditations. They do not work. It's a time of reflection and tapping into the oneness, seeing what their ancestors have to say, what the divinities have to say. They do that. This is happening in America, Diwali, if you're into Hinduism. And here at Althea, we do celebrate, as you can see, all faiths. So I think it's beautiful. You can even go online and look and see all the celebrations in India. Look at it. So we can bring all of this into our home life. We can bring all of the prayers of praying through the directions. That's amazing. Tapping into that oneness. I'm headed to Peru next week. Pacha Mama. Mama Pacha, yes. The light is rising. We are that light. So in the midst of having fun or watching spooky movies, by the way, I can't do that. Hello. But in the midst of whatever you do during this time, or watching the kids dress up, the reason they had them dress up when that became a thing was to scare the ghosts and goblins away. That's where it came from. In America, it came from that. In other cultures, it was something else. It meant something different. It meant something totally different. So I say it's time we tap into that light and we bring it throughout all of November, no matter what we see in our physical sight. Ignore sometimes that outward eye that goes into fear, no matter what shows up, knowing love is dear. Be in your heart, be in your mind, be soul, be spirit, be divine. Be that truth and that light. Be that harmony, because the world needs us. In her very sight, Gaia is speaking to us. Our ancestors, their blood flows through our veins. We stand in their heart, and we are not alone. There's nothing for us to explain. Be prayerful. Stay in it. Be in it. Be mindful. Be loving. Be loving, because we are love. Enjoy your holiday. Celebrate your ancestors. Light a candle. Tap into forgiveness. For even those that may have left, they haven't left. They're close to your very breath. Thank you.
Again, in light of this being Dia de Muertos time, and we're talking about it, there's a song that we like to sing a lot during this time, and it's called La Llorona. No sé qué tienen las flores, llorona, las flores del campo santo. No sé qué tienen las flores, llorona, las flores del campo santo, que cuando las mueve el viento, llorona, parece que están llorando, que que están llorando. Ay de mí, llorona, llorona, tú eres mi chunca. Ay de mí, llorona, llorona, tú eres mi chunca. Me quitarán de quererte, llorona, pero de olvidarte nunca. Me quitarán de quererte, llorona, pero de olvidarte nunca. A un santo Cristo de fierro, llorona, mis penas le conté yo. A un santo Cristo de fierro, llorona, mis penas le conté yo. ¿Cuáles no serían mis penas, llorona, que el santo Cristo lloró? ¿Cuáles no serían mis penas, llorona, que el santo Cristo lloró? Ay de mí, llorona, llorona, llévame al río. Ay de mí, llorona, llorona, llévame al río. Tápame con tu rebozo, llorona, porque me muero de frío. Tápame con tu rebozo, llorona, porque me muero de frío.
Beautiful. Thank you, Verena. And now is that beautiful time of the law of circulation that we get to practice. I invite the ushers up. Knowing the law always works, and abundance abounds, not for a few, but for everyone. As a universal flow, think of an infinity. And here, and I even do this at home many times when I circulate bills, not pay bills, circulate the bills. You can hold on to your credit card. We have a debit jar back there, a dip jar that takes $10 dips. Or if you have a check or cash, just hold it in your heart. Take a deep breath and trust that what you give always comes back in circulation. And together we say, the universe provides all that I need and all that I give. With great joy, I share in my prosperity, planting seeds for a world helping manifest. And so it is. Amen. And all that you do give does come back, and it allows us to care and nurture for this building, allow us to grow, and even support other nonprofits. And it also feeds your soul. Abundance always exists and circulate. And you may give online at altheacenter.org. And you may also make it reoccurring. You may scan that QR code and the website will show up. And it is all tax deductible. And we all need tax breaks these days. And we also, even though I was saying to the team back here, I wish we can always have this beautiful altar. However, we do have an altar. Every Sunday, our wonderful Barbara Vale sets up on our altar, and you can also bring your ancestor pictures anytime, or a picture of an animal or a cat, and knowing that it will be prayed over and loved and nurtured. And you could also meet with Kendara afterwards at Darwin's Den right across the way for an affirmative prayer. And we also have prayer requests, little sheets of paper in the back and behind the seats, knowing that they are prayed over throughout the week, that everything is blessed in joy and love. And now, Verena and Danny, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Verena. For our community song.
Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof, and you saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair, and she broke your throne, and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Again, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Alrighty, grab a hand after you clap. Grab a hand and get ready to shout out. I can move beyond my fears. Because there is something wonderful happening to me right now. It is that thing called life. I can move into the oneness, into the light, because you are the light, and I am the light. I feel it. I know it. And I am it. And so it is. That Baptist thing. You held it together.